This book match, grain match worked so good. So check it out. Here's one of them. I'll try to get out of the light here. But yeah, you can see the joint up here. We're 20 foot up. But from down there on the floor, I mean, you can't see this at all. And the grain match is pretty dang good. So that's pretty wild. And then, so this one we already sanded. And then this one we already sanded. The joint is right here. Look at that grain match. So we sanded these using our RO90 here with some 80 grit. It works so good. Okay, completely done. This is our worst one. This one we had the biggest gap on because this one we had the biggest inconsistency in material thickness. So we got about 3/4 of an inch here, and then where we had to rip or join up the ripped resaw was about, I don't know, 1/4, 5/16. So this one was extremely hard to line up, and I even like gooped a bunch of PL up in here yesterday. It's all rock hard now, so that when we put our tongue and groove in, it doesn't push in, because we had to float this one out so much to keep a consistent beam line right here at the top. Tricky stuff. I'm really relieved that these joints are coming out good. That's a huge relief, because that would have been an eyesore to see that. And I've seen it in houses and it's fine, but it's just cool coming up with solutions to where I feel like you'd almost need to be like a detective to find these seams. Like, you can find them, but it's not just gonna jump out to you. So huge, awesome accomplishment on these seams. So the next thing I'll talk about in regards to these beams is the cupping that we've been struggling with from day one when we had these things resawn. And what I've done, what we've come up with is, you can see this beam right here. We have 10 blocking points across this whole 18 foot, and the boards are cupped out like this. So we've got those clamps on there because what we've done is we've squirted some PL up in here at each location of these blocks on both sides. So you can see this is already cured up. We did this one yesterday, and that is rock hard already. And we squeezed it with a trigger clamp and some bar clamps. And we went to Harbor Freight today actually and bought all these clamps down here that you see. We bought out their whole inventory. This is all they had. So we're like, we have enough to do 2 beams at a time doing this method, because this PL, this adhesive, has to be cured for 24 hours. So this one's done. I can pop the clamps off this one and shift over, squirt some PL in this blocking, squeeze, and then after we squeeze, we also shoot it with a 16 gauge finish nail. I don't really think the nail is doing a whole lot. It's just giving me peace of mind that there's some kind of fastener in there. The PL is really what's holding this. With the amount of clamps that we currently have, we're able to complete these 2 beams. What we're gonna do now to keep going down this road of trying to complete these beams, we're going to go ahead and cut our bottom caps of our box beam for this first one. So I've been talking about this for a long time, about how when they resawed this stuff for us, it wasn't like split in half exactly. We should have had a 1/2 inch on each side, but when it went through the bandsaw, it probably just got off somehow because it's rough lumber. So these boards right here, like if I push these both down, we have a big, you know, size discrepancy here. You can see that, you know, it's not lining up right there. So what we've done to line these up is we put 2 biscuit cuts in each side, and we're going to join these with biscuits, and that's going to make sure that this is flush. So we'll put glue in there, we'll join it with biscuits, and we might put some pinch dogs in here to kind of get it, you know, pull it together. We probably will do that, and maybe throw some pin nails in there too, just to give it some strength. Once that dries, we will carefully, very carefully turn this over and screw some blocks into it on the back side. And we made sure where we put our seam, we're not gonna hit any of our blockings that are up there. So we should fall right in between those second and third block. So we'll just pump this in here. Same thing with this one. All right, we'll send it home. We're flush, we got our glue in there, and I'm gonna try to get away with using one of these because I don't wanna fill in more holes. But this is a pinch dog. It's got a tapered, sharp edge right here. So the deeper it goes, the taper drives the material more together. While that is drying down there, we're gonna go get our foam roller for glue, a little pan, a little paint foam roller tray to put it in. So hopefully you enjoyed this process. It is a fun process to get the look of these beams, and I'm excited. I mean, these things look like giant timbers. Like, one of my favorite features is this big split right here, because that's like a giant timber characteristic, but we know obviously it's a box beam. Obviously you're seeing light come in there right now, but when we cap the bottom, that thing is gonna look super, super realistic. Like it's a giant chunk of wood up there. And it's awesome that it's white oak too. My favorite wood, period. So anyways, guys, we will catch you on that next one where we're moving along in this process.